back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Kayla Marie and I make topic videos, spirituality videos, whatever you want to call it. I just be talking basically. And today's topic is something that I was thinking about just today, literally, is about how things are not going to go wrong always. How things are not always doomed and meant to go wrong. We're just gonna go ahead and get into it, okay? Just to give you a little bit of background, I was thinking about this particular topic today because I was thinking about my thought patterns and how a lot of the times when things are going good in my life, I'm always, well, not always, but a lot of times my mind kind of wants to be like, oh, but like, don't get too comfortable. Oh, but like, this happened last time, so like, let's keep a safe distance. Or things are good right now, but things are always going to, you know, whatever the case may be. My brain always does that to me, and I really am tired of it because it takes me away from the present moment and it takes me away from being able to be grateful for what I have. I'm thinking about trying to prepare myself for things to go wrong. It really just, for one, I feel like it ends up manifesting and it proves me right. And then for two, even if things do go wrong, and this is like one of the main messages that I want to give, even if things do go wrong, you are equipped to handle any trial or tribulation or problem that is thrown at you because you have before, and you're equipped to do it. Like, everything that you need is already within you. And so with that being said, I think it's normal for you to want to prepare yourself for the worst, especially if you have been through the worst. To give you some background, I have been through I'm human. Everybody's been through things, and I feel like I've had experiences that were very disappointing, very hurtful, very painful. That's with jobs, that's with friends, family, relationships, of course. I've been betrayed a lot as far as what I feel. And so I think that it's normal for me, or I'm used to kind of having to talk myself through certain experiences or certain places in my life when things are really good, really good, and I'm happy, because it's always that little voice that's like, oh, but this could be gone tomorrow, or this person could start hating you tomorrow, or this job could like whatever. And I'm always just kind of on edge, and I just want to like be able to just exist and be grateful for where I am and not scare myself, and literally just take in where I am, because that might be true. Things do change and things are always going to, shift, but it might not always be in a bad way. And a lot of the times, I know a lot of you have heard like rejection is protection, or rejection is redirection, whatever you want to call it. A lot of the times, the bad things that I have gone through personally have always led me to better places. Times that I was like down bad, I always have been able to make it a good situation. I think I do really well when it comes to like traumatizing things, like traumatizing events, or just like really painful experiences, because I always end up turning that pain into something that works for me. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's also, it calms me down when I'm feeling like, oh, things are gonna change, or this is gonna go wrong, or I'm happy now, but things could always change and I could always be whatever I'm thinking. But I think it's nice for me to realize and to remember that even when things have gone quote unquote wrong, I have always made the best out of every situation, and I'm not gonna stop doing that. There's no thing, person, place in this world that's gonna knock me down to where I just don't want to get back up. And even if I do experience that moment, I always find a way to try to understand why I'm there, or try to understand what this moment is teaching me, or how I can turn it around for my benefit. And it's just something that's worth remembering, because I think I deserve, you deserve, everybody deserves happiness, everybody deserves fulfillment, everybody deserves to feel whole. And so if you've experienced things that have not made you feel that way, or have kind of torn you down, or made you feel like less than, or betrayed, or hurt, or whatever the case is, like I have, like everybody has, and most people, I think it's worth remembering and knowing that there's nothing that you cannot get through, and there's nothing that you've been through thus far that has stopped you, because you're still here, okay? And know that with whatever you go through, you will always be able to work through it, and it's always teaching you something. If you feel like, I don't understand why this happening to me, I don't understand why this is always happening, a lot of times, and I'm sorry not to burst your bubble, but a lot of times we feel that way is because we had a certain plan in our head of how things were supposed to go, and we're not going with the flow of life, with the flow of God, surrendering, and we're more betrayed and hurt by our plans not going through, when in reality we can make as many, like I talked about this before, y'all, we can make as many plans as humanly possible, but at the end of the day we cannot control anything but ourselves. When we feel hurt, betrayed, whatever, it's because we feel like, why is this happening to me? It's because we're failing to really truly reflect and try to figure out what we're learning from the situation, no matter how painful. Sometimes there's hard lessons to learn. Like, I remember, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the last relationship that I was in, that was probably like the last time I was like really low, and I just remembered like thinking like, why is this happening to me? Like, all I ever want to do is love people. I'll be honest, this is what I was going through, okay? And I know somebody might be going through this right now, so I'm gonna be candid, 100% real with y'all. I literally was so confused, and I was like really thinking like, is this what I get for loving somebody? And all I ever want to do is like love someone, make them know like they are, have, everlasting potential. I want them to feel supported. I want them to feel how I would want to feel in a relationship, And I felt as though I was so confused as to why things happened the way that they did. And I realized like the reason why I was so hurt was not really because of, oh, I put all this, whatever. Well, it was because I put a lot into it. But what I learned from that was that I was putting too much of myself into it. I was putting everything. You want to do your best, because every day is not going to look like 100%, always do your best. But it was to the point where I was neglecting my own needs, spiritually, physically, whatever the fuck. Ooh, excuse me. I was neglecting myself in a lot of different ways. And that's something that I had to learn the very hard way. It was very painful. It was very traumatizing, to say the least. But I learned that I always need to put myself first. No matter what comes into my life, no matter what situation that I'm in, I need to put myself first. And I talked about that in my video about healing from codependency. If you haven't seen that, you should watch it. It's really good. I love it. And I was crying in there. It was real vulnerable. But we're trying to work through the vulnerability issues, y'all, because they're there. But anyway, so from that experience, I ended up learning like that I need to always put myself first. And it was not an easy lesson to learn, and it was very, very hard to accept that, because it's easy to blame people. It's easy to feel like, woe is me. It's easy to feel like, why did this happen to me? And I think those parts of healing and going through what you need to go through, I think that's necessary, because it's all a process. Getting through things is a process. Getting through life is a process, okay? Through that, I learned what I needed to learn, and I took what I needed to take from that situation, and it made me a better person. I was able to forgive. I was able to let go. I was able to move forward. I was able to really be who I am right now. Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, you might look at me and be like, oh, like, she's so cute, she's this, she's that, whatever. But y'all, the things that I have been through, we're not even gonna get into that, okay? Because again, those experiences have made me who I am today, and I'm sure that you have experiences that have made you who you are, that nobody on this planet could fathom going through. That's why we're all special and unique and all that stuff. Don't sabotage good things. Don't overthink good things. Always take things for face value. Obviously, listen to your intuition. If things are really off and your gut is like bubbling all the time, obviously you should take that and, take that into consideration. But always know that whatever is done in the dark comes to the light. What's meant to be will be. Whatever's meant to stay will stay. And you don't have to go the extra mile of stressing yourself out, keeping yourself up at night, being super sad, or trying to prepare yourself for something that might not even happen, or might happen based off of you feeling like it's gonna happen, you know. Like, we're very powerful beings. Humans are very powerful. We can manifest, and I think that focusing on the bad is only gonna attract bad, versus focusing on the good. You're gonna continue to attract good no matter what happens in your life, because you can see the good in every situation, whether it's good or bad. That's a good place to be, and that's the place I'm trying to be. And I think that that's something I realized today, and why I'm making this video. Bad things happen, you know, hurtful things happen. You get betrayed. Sometimes people stab you in the back. Sometimes you have to let go of a job or a situation that you don't want to let go of, or sometimes your work situation is stressful, or sometimes you have friends that are not the best, that are negative or toxic or leeches or energy vampires, whatever the case may be, whatever you are going through. Okay, take what applies, and if it don't, whatever you're going through at this current moment, or if you're not going through anything at all, don't feel like you have to be on edge waiting for what's bad to come, because things are always going to happen, but they don't necessarily have to be perceived as bad. Like, y'all, I don't know, it's kind of like scary, because it's almost like I'll be comfortable there, but not in a way where I'm like sitting up in my room like depressed and moping around. It's like I'm like writing poems and I'm inspired, and I'm like it's crazy. It's really crazy. But I want you to know, like, you are more than capable of picking yourself back up after, you know, situations that weren't the most positive, okay? And know that you're never alone, and that people are going through things constantly. Doesn't mean that what you're going through doesn't matter or is not as important. It's definitely valid and it's definitely important. But know that there are people that have come before you. There are people that are all around you that are going through things that they don't speak of. Pain can make you feel very isolated. The beauty of pain and the beauty of negative experiences is that you can always transform it into something beautiful, and you can always learn from it. If you can't transform it into something beautiful, you can always take a lesson or try to figure out what you're learning from the situation, okay? And that's just that on that, okay? And don't worry about what's to come. Trust that only good is to come. Even if, like I said, even if bad things do happen, trust that the bad things is leading you to something good. In hindsight, you look back and you think about, oh, I shouldn't even been scared of that, or I shouldn't even been worried about that, because look at where I am now. That's how I feel. I'll be like, I'm chilling now, so I was worried about that for what? For what? Or I'll look back on certain experiences and people that were in my life, and I'm like, no disrespect, but thank you, God, for getting me out that situation. Let me stop. Let me go ahead and close out this video, because it's getting a little domestic, a little messy. No, but seriously, I truly feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like we all have something to learn from each other. Everybody plays a part in our lives, even if it's not permanent, okay? They all play a part, and they all have something that you can learn from. Even if it's not a person, even if it's a job or some type of, I don't know, like a living situation, your house, I don't know. What you can count on when you're low and when bad things are happening to you, you can count on it not staying the same. When have you ever been through something and you stayed in the same situation forever? You don't. You just never do. You do stay in a place of suffering for a long time, or we feel like things haven't gone our way for years and years. There's some internal work that needs to go on. I'm not saying for everybody. There's some situations that are just, you know, you can't control. But again, like I said earlier, you can control yourself. So with that being said, always make sure your internal is good. Always be working on you on the inside. Always focus on you. Okay? Always mind the business that pays you. Always go where you are loved, where you're supported, where you're happy. And on that note, I'm gonna end this video. I hope that you took the message and that it resonated with you. And if it didn't, I hope you could just take some positive vibes, sending them your way. Kisses, hugs. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see y'all next week. I love you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.